Hello, my dears. How y'all doing? Here for another part. But first, I do want to give a trigger warning. This part of the story is a little deep, so I just want to give you guys a fair warning that the parts of this story can be a little triggering. So, that being said, where we left off is I lost the kids. And I went home and I was searching for pills. So within about a week, I got divorce papers. And so I'm sitting in an apartment by myself. I can't pay the rent because, of course, I don't have a job anymore. There's cords running through the house because electricity's cut off. Like, it was a shit show for real. It was. All I was doing was smoking and crying in the mirror, pretty much. Someone who I'll call Dr. Evil right now, and there will be probably a whole other post about him, came around the time that I was separating from my husband. Yes, I did cheat on him. Like I said, more of that will come in another post. So, he was in the house with me, and as things started to dwindle and I was getting ready to lose the apartment, he comes upstairs one day and he says, "So, I found another female." That's not what he said, but I found another female and I'm about to go live with her. So he leaves. So, mind you, I am already on my way to self-hatred and all that because I lost my kids. Now I've lost my place. It was just terrible. And I found myself alone. Physically, mentally, emotionally alone. The shame and the guilt, I did not reach out to my family who would have helped, but I was so ashamed that I didn't even think to reach out at all. So I moved in with a neighbor, and her house, I wasn't aware until I got there that it was a lot of the guys in the neighborhood would come around because she had mental health and she liked to drink, and they knew they could get what they wanted, whether it was sexually, financially, drug-wise, whatever it was. I'm not too sure. But anyway, so I was there, and one day a guy shows up, and he came out to smoke with me, and he was flirting and things like that, and I wasn't really into it. So I remember, and y'all gotta bear with me because this was all kind of blurry, but I remember him trying to hug me or something like that, and I got up to walk away, and when I got up to walk away, he reached out and he grabbed me by my ankle, put me to the ground. At that moment, I knew that it was bad. I had no clue until he grabbed my ankle and I was on the floor. So from then on, I belonged to him. Today, my state of mind, there's no possible way. But I think I felt like I deserved it. I think I felt like I had nothing else to do. But anyway, so he grabs me by my ankle, pulls me to the ground, and so I complied. And for the next, I'll say, at least 3 weeks, maybe a month, that's how things were. He'd come over by that house whenever he felt like it, and I was supposed to go with him when he'd go somewhere, and he'd say he was in love with me. Like, it was absolutely nuts. But I was scared, and so I complied. Dr. Evil, decided to get a hold of me around that time, and he came over one day, and we were kind of hanging out a little bit, me being sprung off of this person, and we're hanging out, and the other guy comes. He comes to the door, and I told Dr. Evil about him, and he came to the door, and I was like, "I'm not letting you in." he goes around to the back porch, tries to come in the sliding glass door. At this point, it's like, it's frantic, and I'm like, oh, like I think I went out again, honestly, in my brain. Fight, flight, freeze, fawn, all that. So he came to the back around to the front door, and I don't know what happened in my brain, but Dr. Evil looked at me and he says, "Don't open that door." And I did. Something in my brain at that moment said, open the door. So dude comes in and they start fighting. I was pretty frantic. I was in and out going, because it was a 1-bedroom apartment, so there wasn't much places to go, but I think I probably went in the bathroom, probably went in the kitchen. I didn't know what to do. So they're fighting. By the time I come back and I look, dude is in Dr. Evil's lap on the ground, and he's spinning, not trying to make a joke, but he's spinning around like a rotisserie chicken, still trying to fight. And Dr. Evil had a knife, and he was stabbing him repeatedly in the torso, stomach area. And he's just yelling at him, "Oh, you thought I was this, you thought I was that." And I never really seen that side of Dr. Evil yet. But eventually, dude stopped moving. And we were like, call 911, call 911. He stopped moving, but he did not die. He's still alive, or was still alive. I haven't heard from or about him since. But I remember Dr. Evil ran outside, and he just like runs down the middle of the street, because it had to be midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning probably. So Dr. Evil was just running down the street and like, and he's like literally just, "Oh my God," and he's like, "Look what the fuck you made me do. Look what you made me do." That's what he's saying to me. I believe he already had evil in him, but I think that he snapped at that point, because that's when the abuse started after the situation. So, trying to keep it straight, y'all. So he's screaming, you know, look what you made me do, look what you made me do, and the police show up. Dr. Evil raises his hand and says, "I did it, it was self-defense." They did not take him to jail. I almost got the neighbor kicked out of her apartment, of course. So we decided to move, because there was rumors that the guy who got stabbed was, I guess, known in the hood in that area, something like that, right? So we left, we, meaning me and Dr. Evil, and we moved in with somebody else. And at that point is when things definitely took a turn. He became very abusive, very demanding, he was sick. He was a sick person. Like I said, that'll come in another post all about him. But that is part 2.